Okay, guys, really quickly, we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The season is so lackluster. I'm not into it. I can't wait for Rhode Island and Atlanta, especially Atlanta. I can't wait for them to premiere. They're coming back on in like about 2 weeks. Anyway, let's get into Beverly Hills. They're still in Italy, very lackluster. The highlight of this episode was probably the shopping. We're watching Beverly Hills because they're supposed to be the franchise that's got money like that. They got status like that. Everybody else is keeping up with the Joneses. Beverly Hills is the Joneses, right? So you guys already know that Dorit's house went into pre-foreclosure. She made the excuse of it being PK's responsibility. She didn't know about it. She found out like maybe a few weeks before the public found out about it. She said that she's had conversations with PK. He's agreed to get it up to date, and then they're going to sell the house. Whatever. Listen, I've always said this about Teresa, about Erica, and even about Dorit. I do believe when a housewife says that they don't know. And I say that because I'm a housewife and legit, I don't know. And listen, even Sutton was like, I didn't even know I own a baseball team. Was it a baseball team or a hockey team? Who knows? But she didn't even know. She said she found all these things out during the divorce when she had to go get a forensic accountant. Even for Erica, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, look at her. She's so smart, but she wants to pretend like she doesn't know about Tom. You know what? I consider myself to be educated, intellectual, and smart. But I don't know. I don't know jack shit about the finances, what's going on, whatever. So I do believe that just because you don't know doesn't mean that somehow you're uneducated or you're not smart or whatever. Sometimes you don't know because you've never had to worry about it. I'm gonna draw the line with Dorit's excuse is that you didn't know about it, but now you and PK are separated. You're heading towards divorce. You guys don't have a good relationship with each other. But besides from that, you've also said on multiple episodes that PK, he emailed you, he's not paying for certain things and whatever else. And, you know, he was paying for things, but he has sent you an email saying, I'm no longer paying for this. This is what you're going to be paying. So that makes me kind of side-eye Dorit because it's like, girl, now you're kind of tripping over yourself because you're saying you didn't know, which I could believe you as a housewife, as one housewife to another. If you know that he's not paying for things, I would think that the main concern would probably be the mortgage. That's probably like the biggest thing he's not paying. So that's where I side-eye it a little bit. Anyway, I do feel like Sutton, she's doing a switch up. I do believe Dorit, when Dorit is like, Sutton is basically switching up because she wants to get in good with Kyle. She wants to be bestie with Kyle. Maybe she wants to be invited to Kathy Hilton's Christmas party, and that means a lot to her in her social calendar, and she feels like she needs to be good with Kyle to get her Christmas party invitation, whatever. But she sees that Kyle is basically the only one that is on Amanda's side. She's really going hard for her, which is kind of crazy because she's like defending Amanda hard. But listen, the part that kind of like gave me the ick was like Amanda taking Sutton's pillow. And I just didn't like that. For somebody who's all about boundaries and whatever, I'm kind of like, girl, what are you doing? That is like an ultimate boundary that you just crossed. So that gave me the ick. Sutton, she runs back to Amanda to talk shit that the others are talking shit about her. Now, they're out shopping out in the streets of Italy. And in one of like the market stalls, there are all of these face masks. And one of them is like a Pinocchio face mask. So there was like an off-cuff remark. And here's the thing. Someone said, who does this remind you of? I can't remember who said it. I don't know if it was Rachel, if it was Sutton, if it was Dorit, whoever. Somebody says, who does this remind you of? And Bo says, Amanda. Now, Bose later on says that she doesn't remember saying that or that she didn't say it. I do believe her. It was such a throwaway comment. I'm not going to remember something like that. It had no significance. So I do believe Bose didn't remember saying it. Why would you? It's such a throwaway comment. Like, who's going to remember just saying a name? She's not going to remember that. However, it bothered Amanda, so whatever, okay? It bothered Amanda, but listen, if you were near her enough to hear it, then you should have addressed it right there. Because obviously you're saying you heard it, right? So she said it loud enough that you heard it. So you should have addressed it right there, because now you're coming with this later at the dinner and she doesn't remember what the fuck she said. So now it just looks all crazy. You're going to feel like she's gaslighting you, but she's going to feel like, no, you're gaslighting her. Because again, all she said was Amanda. That's not something that she's going to remember, because there's nothing more to it. There's no more context to it. She's just saying your name. So I kind of feel like, Amanda, if you wanted to make a scene about that, you should have done it right then and there when she said it. That way you had everybody else there and you didn't need to, whatever, you know, come back with it like 12 hours later or whatever. Anyway, she's walking with Natalie and Kyle. Kyle's trying to egg Natalie on with this bullshit. Natalie's basically like, well, I didn't think it was serious. You know, she was probably joking about it. It wasn't serious. Kyle Richards, she tries to throw Natalie under the bus, and she tried to make it seem like Natalie was saying anything else than what she was saying, which is, I don't think it was that big of a deal. I don't think it was that serious. But Kyle was trying to make it seem like Natalie was shit-talking Bose. That's how I got that scene. I was just like, Kyle, you're so fucking messy. Anyway, what the fuck is going on with you, Kyle? Don't you have like a wedding to plan for your daughter? Like, what the hell? She's such a messy mess. Anyway, that goes on. The freaking whole entire highlight is basically, again, a dinner scene in the last like 5 minutes of the episode, which is basically Amanda saying to Bose that, you know, whatever about the whole face mask thing, and Bose is like, I didn't say it, or I don't remember saying it. Kyle tries to drag Natalie into this mess. Watching Amanda, I can see how people find her annoying, but at the same time, I'm also willing to give her a chance. She's a newbie. I feel like with any newbie on a reality show like The Real Housewives, you gotta give them at least 2 seasons. If I could give her direct advice as a viewer, just as a viewer of the show, I would say to her, listen, Amanda, you already belong. You're already a cast member. Whether they like you or not, it does not matter. You're already getting a paycheck from Bravo. You already belong. You're already part of the group. So I would say, stop trying to belong, stop trying to fit in, and realize that whether they want you there or not, you're already part of the group. I'm so done with it. Like, what the hell? I need something more. It's like so completely boring. I can't. I mean, like, what the hell? Anyway, New Jersey is filming later on this spring. They're coming back for season 15. Teresa on Instagram, she shared my post on her stories, and she did that last night. I know stories are up for 24 hours, so it might still be up. But anyway, I talked about Miami, that, you know, this was one of the reasons why Miami was canceled. The budget was not reflective of what they were bringing in for their views. And, you know, they have a new franchise coming on. They have a franchise coming back. They have Atlanta, New Jersey, all this other stuff. But also, like, Beverly Hills is one of their most expensive franchises. So that's why Miami was on the chopping block. But also, NBC Universal, Comcast, the parent company of all of this, including the parent company of NBC Universal, Comcast really wants to move towards streaming, towards their Peacock streaming app. You know, they want to be big ballers with Netflix and whatever. So they're spending a lot of money into Peacock, and Peacock has an actual bigger budget than Bravo. I also gave you guys my thoughts on the whole Margaret going on to her Instagram to drop a video and whatever. Also let you guys know that she's doing an Amazon Prime reality show that is like very similar to Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, with other reality stars that are no longer doing anything, basically, and they're in the Dominican Republic. Now, obviously, something like this, even if it gets picked up for a second season, I don't see it getting picked up for a second season, but if it did get picked up for a second season, this sort of cast, these sort of shows, it rotates. It's never just the same group of people. So I feel like, you know, she has this opportunity, but what else is in store for her? I don't know. She made it seem as if it was a mutual agreement. She didn't get a contract. She didn't get asked back. Listen, Bravo will let you tell whatever narrative you want, and they don't push back on it. I already said Danielle Staub to this day will say that it was her choice to leave after season 2. Okay, girl, whatever you say. Husbands are not going to have their own individual scenes anymore. If they are participating in, you know, events or whatever as a group or whatever, they're going to be heavily edited out, and it's going to just focus on the women. Anyway, that's it. I mean, that's all that's going on. This freaking Mormon Wives, whatever crap, like, you know, you guys, Frankie Paul, Taylor Thomas, whatever the hell her name is, she's been all over TMZ because they just been dropping videos one right after the other. Every day a new video comes out. The girl's a mess. Listen, I already said how I feel about it. I mean, just cancel the whole fucking thing. You know, she should not be given a platform. That is just, I don't care if it was reactive abuse or not. You threw the damn chair at your child. But I also feel like women who use that, it's like, you're not thinking about your children. You're saying it's a reactive abuse. You know, I was in this toxic relationship, all this other stuff. But these same women will say, my kids are everything. I love my kids. They're my number one. Your kids are number one and they're your everything, and you would die for your kids. Well, you would die for your kids except for when it comes to a fucked up relationship with a piece of shit man. Whatever. See, there's nothing worse than being a piece of shit mom. You don't have to be a great mom. Listen, I don't think I'm a great mom. There's definitely, every single day, I'm like thinking like, oh God, I'm a shitty mom. But actual shitty moms are that, neglectful mothers who would basically put their relationship, even though they're claiming is violent, is toxic, is abusive, put a man and that relationship in front and ahead and first to their own children. That's a shitty mother. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of all this Bravo fiasco and reality TV and whatever. By the way, guys, I did my TMC segment. So watch TMC live tonight. It's on Fox, and I will be on it. I am talking about that guy, Puka Nacua. He is the wide receiver for the LA Rams, and he was like accused of basically being a racist vampire. I'm like, what the fuck is this? A sequel to Sinners? Like, but anyway, I gotta edit my video. Hopefully I could get this up, because like sometimes I forget to like upload my damn videos, and then it's like, what is she talking about? The dates don't even line up. Whatever. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I'll check you guys out later. Bye.